Hello students, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to cover quadratic equation questions from JEE Main 23 April session. So the first question which came on 13th April 2023 evening session. The question says, let alpha beta be the roots of equation x square minus root 2x plus 2 equal to 0. Then we need to find alpha raised to 14 plus beta raised to 14, and then 4 options are given to us. So as in every question, I would like to give you a hint and I would like you to attempt the question first. The first hint that we have to use in this question, the property that if alpha is a root of this particular equation, then can we write in terms of alpha as alpha square minus root 2 alpha plus 2 equal to 0. We can write like this, or we can transform it as alpha square is equal to root 2 alpha minus 2. This is the main information that we are going to use many a time. So this is the hint. Now you can pause this video and try it on your own. If you can't, then we will discuss this question. So now let's start this question. So alpha square is known to us. Now if we square both the side, what we will get, alpha raised to 4 is equal to root 2 alpha minus 2 whole square, or this is equal to 2 alpha square minus 4 root 2 alpha plus 4, simple a minus b whole square. Now instead of alpha square, we will put this value. We will use this information again and again. So instead of alpha square, we will put this value. And if we put this value, what we will get, alpha raised to 4 is equal to twice of, instead of alpha square, we will write root 2 alpha minus 2 minus 4 root 2 alpha plus 4. Next, if we simplify it, we will get 2 root 2 alpha minus 4 root 2 alpha plus 4. So if you look at carefully, this 4 will get cancelled out, and what we will get, this should be alpha here. We will get minus 2 root 2 alpha minus 2 root 2 alpha. That is the alpha to the power 4. So the next information that we have is alpha raised to 4 is equal to minus 2 root 2 alpha. Now we'll use this information. So directly if we cube both the side, what we will get, alpha raised to 12 is equal to minus 2 root 2 alpha cube, which will be equal to 8 to the 16 minus 16 root 2 alpha cube, or we can write it as minus 16 root 2 alpha into, again we will use this one. Instead of alpha square, we can write this one. So instead of alpha square, we will write root 2 alpha minus 2, or this will be equal to minus 32 alpha square plus 32 root 2 plus 32 root 2. Now again we will put alpha square as this one. Again we will put alpha square as this one. Then what we will get, minus 32 instead of alpha square, root 2 alpha minus 2 plus 32 root 2. We should have alpha here, alpha, or we will get minus 32 root 2 alpha plus 64 plus 32 root 2 alpha. This will get cancelled out, and the next information that we will get is alpha raised to 12 is equal to 64. Alpha raised to 12 is equal to 64. So what we need? Alpha raised to 14. So multiplying by alpha square both the side, we will get alpha raised to 14 is equal to 64 alpha square. Again we will use this information. What we will get? 64 root 2 alpha minus 128. Doing the same operation with beta, we don't have to do it again. What we will get? Beta raised to 14 is equal to same information, so we will get the same thing, similar thing, 64 root 2 beta minus 128. Now when we add these two, we will get alpha raised to 14 plus beta raised to 14 as 64 root 2 alpha plus beta minus 128, 256. Now since alpha and beta are the roots of this particular equation, so can we write alpha plus beta as root 2? Alpha plus beta equal to root 2. If we use this one, then what will get? 64 root 2 into root 2 minus 256, or 128 minus 256, or minus 128 is the answer, which is given in option C. So the correct answer is option C. Next question is 12th April 23 morning session. Question says that alpha and beta be the roots of quadratic equation x square plus root 6x plus 3 equal to 0. And then we need to find the value of this. So first of all, you can give a try and then see the solution if you are not able to do it. We know that alpha is the root of this equation. Since alpha is the root of the given equation, so we can write alpha square plus root 6 alpha plus 3 is equal to 0, or alpha square is equal to minus root 6 alpha minus 3. So this is the information that we are going to use. Now if we square both the side, we will get alpha raised to 4 is equal to, squaring this entire term, we will get 6 alpha square minus plus 6 root 6 alpha plus 9. Now this alpha square we can replace with using this relation. So what we will get is alpha raised to 4 is equal to 6 times of minus root 6 alpha minus 3 plus 6 root 6 alpha plus 9. This one is as it is, this term is as it is. Instead of alpha square, I have replaced this one. So if we simplify it, we'll get minus 6 root 6 alpha minus 18 plus 6 root 6 alpha plus 9. Now if you look at carefully, these two terms will get cancelled out. We have minus 18 and plus 9. So what we will get? Alpha raised to 4 is equal to minus 9. Or from this we can also say alpha raised to 8 is equal to 81. Alpha raised to 8 is equal to 81. Now consider following terms, the given terms that we need to find out. So first of all, we will see those terms. So according to the given condition, we will have alpha to the power 23. So we can write alpha to the power 23 as alpha raised to 8 into alpha raised to 15. Alpha raised to 8 into alpha raised to 15, or 81 alpha raised to 15. Similarly, beta raised to 23 we can write as beta raised to 8 into beta raised to 15. Now since alpha to the power 8 is 81, from this we can conclude that beta raised to 8 is also 81, because whatever the property of alpha and that of beta, it remains the same. So we can write it as 81 alpha raised to 15. Adding both the side, we will get a new relation, that is alpha raised to 23 plus beta raised to 23. It should be 81 here. So if you add these two, you will get 81 times alpha raised to 15 plus beta raised to 15. So this is one relation that we will use. This is one relation. Now consider alpha raised to 10. Alpha raised to 10 is equal to alpha raised to 8 into alpha raised to 2, alpha square. Alpha raised to 8 is 81, and alpha square from this relation we can get from this relation as minus 6 minus root 6 alpha minus 3, or we can write alpha raised to 10 is equal to minus 81 root 6 alpha minus 243. Beta raised to 10, we will get minus 81 root 6 beta minus 243. When you add these two, you will get alpha raised to 10 plus beta raised to 10 as minus 81 root 6 times of alpha plus beta minus 486. Now since alpha and beta are the roots of this given equation, that means alpha plus beta must be equal to minus root 6. Put this value of alpha plus beta over here. You will get 81 into root 6 into root 6 means 6 minus 486, which is equal to 0. That means alpha raised to 10 plus beta raised to 10 is equal to 0. Exactly the same calculation, and we will get alpha raised to 14 plus beta raised to 14 is also equal to 0. Because, let me do a rough work here. In the same way, alpha raised to 14 we can write as alpha to the power 12 into alpha square. Alpha to the power 12, we know alpha to the power 4 is equal to 9, minus 9. Alpha to the power 4 is minus 9 here. So alpha to the power 12 is minus 729 times of alpha square. So using the same relation as we have done for alpha to the power 10, we will get alpha raised to 14 plus beta raised to 14 as 0. Summation of these two as 0, which is written here. Now look at what we need to find. We need to find this particular value where alpha raised to 10 and beta raised to 10. This is equal to 0. Alpha to the power 14, beta to the power 14. This is equal to 0. So ultimately this question will come down to alpha raised to 23 plus beta raised to 23 divided by alpha raised to 15 plus beta raised to 15. But From this particular relation, we know that this particular ratio is 81. This particular ratio we have already calculated, which is equal to 81. So the correct answer is option A, 81. Next question is 11th April 23 morning session. Question says, if A and B are the roots of this particular equation, then the value of this particular expression, we need to find the value. So these questions are similar to the previous question. You can give a try, and then if you are not able to solve, let's continue with the video. Okay, so as per this question, we have A and B are the roots of this equation. If A is a root of this equation, then we can write A square minus 7A minus 1 is equal to 0, or else we can write A square minus 1 is equal to 7A. Next step, squaring both the side. Squaring both the side. What we will get? A raised to 4 minus 2A square plus 1 is equal to 49A square. Or we will get A raised to 4 plus 1 is equal to 51A square. This is a useful result, and we will use this result only. Okay, if A has this property, then B is the other root. So B must have the same property. That means B to the power 4 plus 1 is equal to 51B square. So this is the property of B raised to 4. Now we'll use these two properties. Now for this particular expression, see the numerator only. We'll start with the numerator only. In numerator, it is given A raised to 21 plus B raised to 21 plus A raised to 17 plus B raised to 17. Now out of these, take these two together. A raised to 21, A raised to 17. We can write A raised to 17 as a common, A raised to 4 plus 1. Then from these two, take B raised to 17 common. So B raised to 17, B raised to 4 plus 1. So this numerator can be written as, now instead of A to the power 4 plus 1, we can replace with this. So we'll get A raised to 17, 51A square plus B raised to 17. Instead of B to the power 4 plus 1, we can replace from here as 51B square. 51B square. So what we will get? 51A raised to 19 plus 51B raised to 19. Or we can write it as the numerator as 51A raised to 19 plus B raised to 19. If you look at carefully, denominator is A raised to 19 plus B raised to 19. So the entire this particular expression can be written as, numerator हो गया आपका A raised to 19 plus B raised to 19 divided by denominator हो गया A raised to 19 plus B raised to 19. So the value is 51. The correct answer to this question is 51. Next question, which came on 8th April 23. It says that alpha, beta, gamma be the three roots of this equation. This is the equation given to us. And then another information, beta gamma is equal to 1 and alpha equal to minus 1. And then we need to find the value of this particular expression. Okay, so let's see how to solve this. First of all, alpha, beta, gamma are the roots of this equation. So we can write alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to 0 because coefficient of x squared is 0. Next we can write alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha is equal to b, and then product alpha beta gamma is equal to minus c. Now use this particular information. Beta gamma is equal to 1. Since beta gamma is equal to 1 and alpha is equal to minus 1. So what will get minus 1 into 1 is equal to minus c, or we'll get c is equal to 1. So the first thing we got is c equal to 1. Next we have to see that alpha and beta. So from this information we can say beta plus gamma is equal to minus alpha, or beta plus gamma is equal to 1. Beta plus gamma is equal to 1. Now put this value in this, in the second information, that is alpha beta beta gamma. So alpha into beta plus gamma into alpha plus, instead of beta into gamma we can write 1 plus 1 is equal to b, or take alpha common, beta plus gamma plus 1 is equal to b. We know alpha from here is equal to minus 1. We know beta plus gamma from this equal to 1 plus 1 equal to b, or we'll get the value of b is equal to 0. So we have got two information. The first information is that c is equal to 1, and then second information is b equal to 0. So the equation will reduce to x cube plus 1 is equal to 0. X cube plus 1 equal to 0. And alpha is a root of this. So alpha cube is equal to minus 1. Similarly, beta cube is equal to minus 1. And similarly, gamma cube is equal to minus 1. Because they are the roots of this particular equation, which is x cube plus 1 is equal to 0. Now look at the given expression. We need to find the value of this, which is b cube plus twice of c cube minus thrice of alpha cube minus 6 times of beta cube minus 8 times of gamma cube. So instead of b we can write 0. Instead of twice of c cube, so twice of c cube will be equal to 2 because c equal to 1, minus thrice of alpha cube minus 1, minus 6 times of beta cube into minus 1, minus 8 times of gamma cube equal to minus 1, or we'll get 2 plus 3 plus 6 plus 8, which is equal to 19. So the correct answer is option D, which is 19.